Alright, so there's this town called Big Island. It's a very small town that I visited a few times in the past, and several years ago, a few of my friends jokingly created some made-up stories about the place. They said stuff like Big Island has no Wi-Fi connection since it's a very rural town, or that everybody there loves grape soda. I'm not really sure about how that one came about, but yeah, funny nonetheless. Some really funny rumors about the place. And in September of 2021, I randomly got the idea to, what if I made an album about Big Island? It would basically be a lo-fi hip-hop album, but every song would be inspired by some aspect of Big Island, or the rumors created about it. It was basically just a joke at first, but as I thought more about it, I began to think it was a cool idea, to be honest. I attempted to start working on the project a few times, but I couldn't really get it sounding like I wanted to, so I basically just forgot about it for a few months. Fast forward to June 2022. I began thinking of the project again randomly, and I decided that by the end of the summer, I wanted to have the album done. At first, I was just planning to make a 5-track EP, but the project morphed into a 20-minute, 8-song project that I'm calling an album. I delayed the completion of the project several times, but on September 25th, I had the project fully done and scheduled it to be released on October 14th. In this video, I'm going to give an overview of the album and explain the inspiration behind the project and how it turned out in the end. Each track on the album had a specific piece of inspiration behind it, related to these stories about Big Island. For example, the track Grape Soda used can opening sounds to display Big Islanders' love of grape soda. The lake is meant to represent how many bodies of water you can find in Big Island. The cover art for the album is actually a heavily edited picture of one of them. There's too many specific references and ideas that I included in this album and talk about in just one video, so if you're curious about any of the other songs' meanings, just let me know in the comments and I'll answer you directly. Alright, after all of that, you might just be thinking I'm some kind of crazy person who made a whole album about a bunch of random stuff. And while you might not be wrong, I think this album demonstrates the lost art of making a cohesive album. In some ways, it's easy to just make a collection of songs and put them together and call them an album, but it's more interesting and fun to have a specific idea behind an album, and then use the resources you have to actually create it. It's so rewarding to take stuff that once existed purely in your own mind and put it into something concrete like a song. With stuff like digital audio workstations and royalty-free samples at everyone's disposal, it can be really easy for music producers and creators to just use them as tools for making music, rather than their own creativity. For each song on the album, I sat down and imagined what I hoped to create. I thought, I want to make a song using can opening sounds, or I want to make a song that sounds like you're mining diamonds in Minecraft. Having a specific goal in mind for making music can be a very valuable tool, or at least it's valuable to me, someone who's really analytical and loves having order in the stuff I do. I also want to emphasize that Big Island Beats isn't just meant to be an elaborate joke. While the songs were originally based off of the Big Island jokes that people made, I did try to tell a deeper story with the songs and the way they were organized in the album. Big Island represents a paradise, an escape from the stresses and perils of everyday life. And Big Island Beats is meant to tell the story of exploring this wonderland and the idea that nothing this great can last forever. That's the deeper meaning behind Big Island Beats. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with how the album turned out. Usually I'm a little bit dissatisfied with the music that I make and what I release, and I just think, oh, I could have made this so much better. But for Big Island Beats, while I did feel that a little bit, I didn't feel it too much, and I'm happy to feel that way, especially for something I worked this hard on. I'm glad I actually feel happy with it and am happy with what I made. I'm not going to pretend like Big Island Beats is the best album ever made or anything, because it's definitely not. It's probably not even a good album by most standards. I pretend like I'm an expert at making music, but no matter what you think of the stuff I make, I have an unbelievable amount to learn, and there's so much room to improve for me. However, I appreciate the little things, like making and finishing my first album. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone who appreciates them too, and thank you so much for everyone who has already streamed the album. Thanks for watching, and make sure, if you haven't already, stream Big Island Beats!